friends. In more trouble for Franklin Templeton Asset Management. A forensic audit was conducted by Chokshi and Chokshi Chartered Accountants, and they have indicated several wrongdoings, including insider trading by the key management personnel of the asset management company. Certain key officials of the fund had redeemed their personal investments just before the formal announcement of the closure of 6 debt schemes and made money during that time, according to the audit report submitted by the chartered accountants. And according to sources, capital markets regulator SEBI may look into these redemptions from the perspective of insider trading regulations. Now, so the whole thing seems to be getting a little murkier. And if you recollect, Franklin Templeton Fund is currently facing several court cases and investigations, including one by SEBI for allegedly closing 6 schemes in an abrupt manner. Put options were also not exercised. The auditor's report indicates that the fund gave favors to certain companies it had invested in by not exercising the put option. Okay. Despite the suggestions given by the Risk Management Committee to its Chief Investment Officer to do so, a put option is basically a contract that gives its holder the right to sell a number of equity shares at a predetermined price, called the strike price, before the option's expiry. Now, as per the report, the fund managers were inconsistent in exercising the put option. With some companies, they executed it, but with some others, they did not. And despite a major downgrade from category A to category D in less than a year's time, fund managers were investing in bonds and illiquid companies and were not using that put option. This raises several questions and needs to be answered in maybe a SEBI investigation. Rules permit fund managers to execute a put option when the investments are downgraded by the credit rating agencies. Clearly, that it appears that a lot was going on in the back end. If something is too good to be true, then you need to look under the hood. This holds not just for investors, but even the board and the trustees. On April 23, 2020, as you remember, Franklin Templeton had wound up 6 debt schemes that were meant for high-yield investments with a total asset under management of over 25,000 crores. The company had cited inadequate liquidity in the debt market as a reason. The forensic audit pointed out that the firm invested heavily in unlisted debt securities which were mainly illiquid. Some of these companies were newly incorporated. SEBI has, of course, wide powers under the SEBI Act, but the regulator has not executed it in this case. It could have saved 3.15 lakh investors. Now, a Franklin Templeton spokesperson says that our interactions with SEBI are confidential. In fact, inspections and third-party audits fall within the purview of SEBI, and we are cooperating fully with them, as everybody does. The statements appearing in your email are not accurate, nor has the SEBI come to any such findings at this point of time. But there are some findings. Employees who made investment in the Franklin Templeton mutual fund schemes, they have continued to hold substantial investments in the affected schemes. But then how come some key management personnel redeemed them before the fund closed its doors? So we already communicated the reasons for winding up, and it's the same thing. Anyway, currently all eyes are, of course, as you know, on the Karnataka High Court, where a clutch of investors are seeking multiple reliefs, including directing the firm to release the money that it owes to the investors. So let's see what the Karnataka High Court decides, and we have to be cautious at this point of time. But definitely, all I can say is that, should not cost aspersions on mutual funds in general. But the famous saying, mutual fund hai to sahi hai, does not apply in every case. कभी कभी सही नहीं भी होता है, as far as It's rightly proved in the Franklin Templeton mutual fund case. Now, these are new revelations that are coming out. Investors, please be very careful in these funds where they do not have the transparency that is required in a internationally well regarded mutual fund. Coming to tomorrow's outlook, 7th of October 2020, friends. I believe that a session in the afternoon this time looks to be like yesterday I mentioned morning sessions would go straight charging ahead. I believe tomorrow's session 12:40 to 2:30 I see especially very good, positive and constructive. 12:40 to 2:30, nice positive session on Nifty and Sensex. So you get almost 2 hours, and you may see some fall between 12:10 and 12:40, a little before. So the focus is now shifting from the morning to the afternoon, friends, and you can enjoy the afternoon session. In my opinion, should be quite powerful. So 12:40 to 2:30, you can see a good runway rally in a very powerful rally on Nifty and Sensex, as much as I can see at this point of time. Friends, there are lots of moving parts, and even yesterday I had mentioned it was a very difficult prediction to make with Donald Trump's being in the hospital and all. I mentioned that do not expect a major fall in the markets this week. It has turned out to be a good week so far, but at the same time it is do not be under the assumption that we'll reach or scale all-time highs on the Nifty so soon either. There are lots of moving parts, and there can be a lot of issues which can come down heavily, disturbing the markets. At the same time, wherever I'm seeing pockets of positivity, I'm pointing it out to you. We should have some good rally in the afternoon session tomorrow. At the same time, don't turn a blind eye to the possibilities of something unexpected coming across to you and disturbing the calmness of the seas. This is an environment where you need to tread with caution. We had 2 back-to-back good days of rallies, and tomorrow afternoon session also looks solid to me, which will set the stage for what happens on the 8th of August 2020, Thursday. So stay tuned, and I will be back soon once again with further insight. Those who would like to be a part of the Art of Investing program, please do not forget to WhatsApp me on 982-086-1044. Again, it is 982-086-1044. There's going to be a lot of turbulence in world financial markets, and you can invest and benefit both in up markets and down markets. That's what we are going to teach you in the Art of Investing program. Happy investing. Take care. Bye-bye.